Hey guys, so welcome to the third episode of the Singh Street Style podcast in collaboration with my friend Gurmukh. And Gurmukh, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi there, guys. My name is Gurmukh, as Pradeep has mentioned, and I also like to introduce the first JustBeYou podcast. So, yeah, it's a pleasure being here.
So, Gurmukh, today, what are we going to be talking about?
We discussed this already. So, yeah, let's just talk about being self-employed as a starter, and we'll take it from there. Let's see where the conversation flows.
Cool. So, tell me your journey, from working for someone, being employed, to being self-employed.
Okay, let's take this back about 8 years. So
8 years? What?
The bit of a story from there.
How old are you now?
I'm 24, just turned 24.
So 16. Okay, the journey starts when you were 16.
Oh, 16, yeah. So what happened was, so I thought, let's go into pharmacy, right? Pardon me. And so going to A-levels, did my chemistry, did all my subjects, got into pharmacy, did my 4 years. And then,
4 years of pharmacy. How was that?
I enjoyed the living out more than the course. But the course was brilliant. There were a lot of things I learned.
But pharmacy is a pretty intense sort of subject. What made you go into pharmacy?
Initially, it was the idea of helping people. But here's the thing. In my final year, I remember doing my dissertation. Towards the end of fourth year, anyone who's watching from my pharmacy course, you can see why now. Find out why. I did a dissertation on pharmaceutical companies, right? Now, I don't want to go into conspiracy theories, but here's the thing. There's a lot of conditions and things I feel like they can help a lot more with. And when you're dishing out a lot of these drugs and stuff, sometimes it's last resort. I can understand that. Some people need it for relieving their suffering, for example. But the problem is that, in my personal opinion, I think there's certain cures out there for like diabetes and things, or even HIV. And I think even if they don't have it, I do think they have enough money. It's a multi-billionaire, trillionaire industry, the pharmaceuticals. I think they've got enough money to easily find cures for stuff like this. Generally, like all these stem cells and stuff. I do generally think in 10, 15 years time, how will drugs work? How will stem cells work? Because that's the new sort of therapy. But coming back to your original question.
Yeah.
So that was my reason initially. But when I got into my pre-reg, so for anyone who wants to know what that is, it's basically training your pharmacy. And what you do is you just practice as a pharmacist. You apply your theory from the 4 years previously. And I was a month in, but I had issues with my own tutor. He used to take things a bit further than being professional. And I remember going to the CEO of the company and saying, this is what he used to do.
What specifically was he doing?
Well, specifically, okay, so if you're a healthcare professional, you're responsible for people's lives, right?
Yep.
So he went against the code of conduct of the Pharmacy Regulatory Authority. And despite doing that, I called them up, but they said the issue is between you and the tutor. It's a company thing. But I said, but they did agree with me what he's doing is wrong. So I went to the CEO and he backed him, despite what some things he used to say. That he'd say things to you personally, which I don't mind. You shouldn't get petty about it. I'm like, fair. But I was like, I'm not going to stand for you doing this continuously for a year. So it didn't work out. I got out of pharmacy. At the same time, it wasn't my long-term ambition. Maybe just the way it was meant to go. Then I started tutoring. Literally, I just started picking up jobs. And then over the last year, from end of September last year until this summer, I was doing a lot of self-employed work.
Yeah.
I was just doing a lot of clients. And then I came back. I was away in the summer for different reasons. I went to the States. I was in Iceland briefly. Then I went to Italy for a month. Came back. Had a bit of rest. And then I started again. But now what I did was I started a company. So I started a company. It's called Grade Scholars. And I thought, I don't want to just tutor now. I've come to the point where I want to have clients but tutors that I can train. Here's the thing. When you're in the tutoring industry, we have many agencies. We have many tutoring agencies, many tutors. You can be a great tutor in terms of like your academic knowledge. You're an expert. You're willing to help people. But here's the thing. How do you teach it?
Yeah.
That's a niche a lot of people, I feel, isn't there in the industry. That's what I would like to do with my company. I like the art of teaching. It's a big thing. Like I was doing a 6-week course very recently. It was a beta test. And I want to incorporate some sort of something digitally to help people.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. I want to do some testing and feedback from parents and any volunteers. Anyone's here, I would really appreciate that. And that's my vision for being self-employed. It's the flexibility.
Yeah.
I'd rather do 99 in this than a 95 in a job. depending on the job, not every job is rubbish. Don't get me wrong. There are dream jobs I'd love to do as well. Currently, in this time, I feel like my purpose is in this area. Let's see what the next few months hold. That's my business. That's what I want to do with it. Let's see what happens. Business is unpredictable. I mean, you know this as well from the past. I know this. I've failed one or two businesses in the past, but you need to go through the phases. And if you don't do that, you're not going to learn. And I think business is a great skill to have. You know, the 9 to 5 is limited in the sense that your salary is capped. It's great security, but I feel unless you feel you got a purpose in it.
Yeah.
What's the percentage in the world? 85%, 90% of people are happy in the jobs, give or take.
Yeah, probably even more, to be honest.
Probably even more. Yeah. So thinking of it like that, it's like, take a step back. What's your purpose behind this job? People have got to do it, but you need a reason to do it. Otherwise, you don't get fulfilled. So tuition ended up happening for me like that. It was just very weird how it all happened.
Yeah.
So that's my niche. Like, I want to help people, help parents, empower them as well, because they don't get feedback from teachers. So it's a niche I'm looking into, and I'm hoping it pulls off. Let's see what the future holds in the next few months. So that's where I am right now. Yeah.
So what would you say are the benefits, the strengths of being self-employed over being employed by someone, another business?
Okay. So just from my own experience, first of all, employment, it's great when you have a team around you. That's amazing, right? In employment, you normally have to work with teams. If you can have the worst job, if you have a great team, you can make it fun. Vice versa, you can have the greatest job, like what you're doing. If you haven't got a good team around you, I don't think it will work out very well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so employment's like that, but the benefits overall, self-employed, it's flexible. I can start my work at 10, I can start 7 in the morning, I can finish at 12 or 1 o'clock and then have 2 hours off and then carry on. You know, I can work late into the night as well. So self-employed, it's a lot more work.
Yeah,
I'm sure you agree from your own experience. It's a lot more work. However, I do feel that despite it being a lot more work, if you enjoy it, you know what? It's not work.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy what I do. You know, I'm up late night sometimes just getting things done. It's amazing. I have this, I don't even think it's work. I'm just like there and just doing it. It's so fun.
Okay, what do you not like about being self-employed that you prefer being employed? What are those things? The weaknesses?
You know, I think it's patience.
Yeah.
You know why? Because with any business, if you're self-employed, you have to start off from scratch. I mean scratch. I spent a year building up a portfolio. I've got the portfolio now. It wasn't even intended initially, but this is what's just the way it went, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's a long-term game. I was speaking with my friends yesterday, and he's a very great business owner, and we were in Westfield, and you know, we were just discussing things take time. It can take a good few years of you being an expert in it, you enjoying it, and then getting your name out as well, like to particular clients. That's probably the hardest thing, the ability, and then not going in your mind even the money side. Things come slowly, you know, and you have to let it build. I think the benefit of employed, you got the money's there, you know, everything's there, security. You don't know what you're gonna have in a business.
But you know what? This is what I found, because up until recently, I was working for a business, and this business was a really huge business, and I had just left the company. But after I left the company's gone under administration. So I personally feel like there is never such a thing as a sense of security when you work for someone, unless it's something like becoming going into medicine, maybe becoming a doctor, maybe then. But I don't know enough about that industry, the health industry, to know if even that's secure. Even you definitely got a job if you become a doctor. So I always feel like this sense of security is false, because you can get made redundant, the industry can collapse, anything can happen, you know. So my mentality is life is short. You got the main thing is you got to enjoy what you do. But saying that, when you do work with other people, the thing about being self-employed that I realized, especially with what I'm doing, you're working by yourself most of the time. So the whole dynamic of working with other people, and like how you mentioned, like you got to enjoy the people that you work with. The hardest thing to do is enjoying your own company. I'm on my own. It gets lonely. It gets lonely in this office, man.
It gets lonely. I feel you so much.
Yeah, and then that's where mental health comes in, happiness. You know, So it's like, I don't know, like I think the thing about life is, I'm digressing here. I'm getting way too deep, but I feel like, and it says this in religion, in Sikhi, it says your mind is your best friend and your worst enemy, and then that's, if you can conquer your mind, then you conquer life, you conquer work, everything. Everything's solved.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my point is. I really don't know what my point is, but I think I'm trying to talk about happiness now. Like what you obviously, again, the reason I'm self-employed is because I want to be happy. The reason we do anything in life is because we want to be happy.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's why I became self-employed. But then again, one of the struggles I found being self-employed is the loneliness, and that's a hard struggle, trying to enjoy your own company. Some people find that really. Some people are so content in their own company, whereas I'm really not, man. I got crazy just being on my own too much. I have to go out there and do stuff and interact with people, which is difficult, because when it comes to work, I don't think I'll work well with other people.
Yeah.
I don't think I do. So it's like I have to work on my own, but I still have to make time to socialize with other people to fulfill my social needs.
So true. Mental health.
Yeah, it is.
Just I don't, if I want to share with what you've said. So the mental health side, this is my first time I've been self-employed over the last year. I'll be very honest, it does get very lonely, and sometimes I'll be honest, straight up with you, like I'm very lonely sometimes, to the extent I'm like, I'm just cut off from the world, and it's not good sometimes, and even my productivity can slightly decrease, and I'm just like, I need to go talk with someone, I need to go meet with someone. And when I'm doing that on the side, I'm like, this is a relief.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably feel that. Even like when you're out, just have a little activity, 1 or 2 hours in the day, or work, even just having a workout, going in the gym, or just going for a jog.
Yeah.
It just, like, even like I got a park in front of my road, so I just take a quick 1-2 laps in the morning, first thing in the morning. I just feel so good,
convenient.
Man.
That is so convenient. You got your park in front of your house.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very fortunate. But yeah, it's just that it's so hard. The self-employed, just the loneliness side is such a big thing. I think I would totally agree with what you said. It's the idea that if you can love yourself enough, enjoy your own company, the world's your oyster, man. It doesn't matter who's there.
Yep.
You just make sure you balance things. You're gonna go crazy if you do too much. Just looking at a screen all day, or you're staying in one area, like I'm sure you say in this room as well, in your office, staying here all the time. It's your ability to go out and do things. It depends on the type of business as well.
Yeah. I mean, I found the thing about working on my own. I have found that when I work on my own, I am more productive, because when I was employed and I was working in a team, I felt like our productivity levels weren't that high because we were distracted, and everyone has their own vision, everyone has their own thing they want to do, their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
So there's so many different dynamics going on, so many things. Whereas when you're on your own, you have your own vision, you know what you want to do, and you just go and do it. So even though in this room it does get pretty lonely and I'm on my own, saying that, I get so much work done in this room. So it is a balancing act. It's a balancing act of being productive, being happy, fulfilling all your needs, your social needs, your any kind of needs that a human has, really. So life just generally is a balancing act. And I think it all comes down to anything we do in life, anything we do is all because we want to chase after happiness. Why did I want to buy a MacBook over a Windows PC? It's because I like Macs, and I maybe it's a consumerist thing, or I don't know, but it's that release of I want it now, I want to be happy, it'll make me happy. Yeah. It's that joy that you get of getting things, or it's even the smaller things like hanging out with your family and friends. Or why do we want to like look a certain way and look good and be presentable? It's so we can be attracted to the right person and find our partners and live a happy life.
Sure. That's absolutely true. That's so true. Is the way we feel free in that. Yeah. In that expression, rather than like being stuck.
Yeah. Would you say you're money hungry?
Oh, I was actually just gonna ask you the question: does money bring happiness?
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that, does money bring happiness?
Does money bring happiness? You know what? First of all, I think it's a great tool to live in freedom. I think it's a tool for happiness in some aspects, but it doesn't bring you permanent joy. So it gives you an easy life. It makes things comfortable.
So what's your opinion about a lot of these celebrities who have a lot of money, but they end up being very depressed, and some of them even do terrible things like they take their own lives and just things like that. Or even okay, that's obviously that's the most like the worst thing, yeah. But even things like going into alcoholism, becoming alcoholic or taking drugs, things like that. And then there's me and you, and we look at them and like, what? If I had that kind of money, I would not be spending it on drugs. I would be driving a nice car, relaxing on the beach, somewhere in Maldives, drinking a mocktail, passion fruit, just enjoying life. But then you see the people that do have the money and the fame, they go crazy. Why do you think that is?
Ooh, okay. So I asked this to one of my mates the other day. We were like, what's first of all, there's success and there's being rich in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So celebrities are successful theoretically because in their own profession. If you're a musician like Michael Jackson, or you're a actor like George Clooney, like there's different type of celebrities. They are successful. So we can't rule that out. But I think it's, when you have a lot of money, yeah, it's the idea of I don't know what to do in my life anymore. It's like a sense of boredom, maybe. That's why they get depressed. I think it's the idea that you need a sense of purpose all the time, so you got something to work towards.
Yeah.
So even once you've accomplished something big, it's like, what do I do next? Maybe for these people, they don't know what they want to do next.
They lost their purpose. That's that's true. Purpose. I feel like there are a few keys to happiness, and I feel like purpose definitely is a key to happiness. And you know what I feel like? I personally feel like the reason why a lot of these celebrities get depressed and they kill themselves is not because they lost their purpose. I think they find a new purpose, but they're so like, I think everyone else around them keeps putting them in that one box. So for example, the Kanye West. I like to use Kanye West as an example. Like he was going crazy. He was going absolutely crazy when he was trying to transition from like a musician to becoming a fashion designer, selling his own brand of sneakers and clothing and stuff. And the industry weren't allowing him, and even like just generally like we weren't allowing him as a community because we were just boxing him up as an artist. So that's why he went crazy, because in his opinion, he's like every human. We're multidimensional. We're not just like one thing and do one thing forever and move on. Because even when we were kids, when I was a kid, I used to like wrestling, and now I don't like wrestling, and I like hip hop music. Whereas back in the day, I never liked hip hop music. So my hobbies change. If my hobbies change, back then I used to like certain kind of food, and now I don't. But if I change in every single aspect, why can't my career change?
Yeah.
And I feel that's where people I think when you're more successful, it's harder for you to change careers, because like people are like, why would you leave that? Like who in their right mind would walk away from success?
Because they fulfilled it, they're master or they're top of the crop. So it's like, why would you want to ditch that?
Exactly.
For something where if you're doing a new career, theoretically you're probably starting from scratch again. Yeah. You're going to become a beginner. So I can understand from like the mass perspective. It's like, okay, so you're starting from scratch. Like you this far, why are you going to go from the bottom again? Sort of thing. But again, it comes to purpose. Do you see something in it that you can help with, or something innovative?
What's your purpose?
Oh man, you know what, man? We're both in our 20s, different sides of the 20s, but even then, like, looking at life ahead of me, it's a hard one. I've always thought, even like the tutoring, it's not my long-term goal. It's a business. I do have a purpose that I want to fulfill in it and gradually build it. I've had this idea of doing charity work abroad, eventually, helping places rebuild stuff. Even like regenerative therapies and diseases I want to go into down, because I got a pharmacy degree. I like to. That's one area in pharmacy I'm definitely like I sync with. I correlate like regenerative and stuff, like helping people. Yeah. Rather than just the drugs. But that's an aspect I really want to go into eventually. Maybe in the next few years. I don't know just yet, depending on this business. But something innovative. I think to be definitely something innovative in the world, I would love to do. But I just don't know what to point my finger at just yet. So one of these is what I've mentioned. It's going to be one of those. I mean, but
again, the cool thing is it can change.
It can change.
You can change your mind. Tomorrow you can decide that you want to be like a footballer. Oh, yeah, well, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah.
I already got a operated leg on, man. So.
Yeah. Wow. How did that happen? Operated leg?
I miskicked the football.
Oh, so okay, so you
Kick the
miskicked the football. Then I definitely do not recommend you become a professional footballer if you miskick the football. So okay, so we talked about purpose, and like purpose was one way of what do you think? Do you think happiness is like a destination, or is it a choice? So can I click my fingers and go, okay, boom, I'm happy? Is it a conscious decision that I make, or is happiness okay? I want X amount of money in my bank account. I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to have this kind of house, this kind of car. Then I'll be happy. But when I get there, will I be happy? Is it so? Is it a destination that's circumstantial, that's based on your circumstances, or is it a choice where you go, you know what, I've had enough of being miserable. I'm just gonna make a conscious decision right now and be happy. Because I feel like it is a conscious decision.
I do agree.
But saying that I feel like it's maybe kind of insensitive to people that are just depressed. Because I can't exactly say to someone that's in a really bad situation in their life,
Yeah.
you know, go, you know what, just click your fingers and be happy. I can't. That is kind of insensitive, you know, and that's not the case. Like when I was going through depression, and if someone said that to me, it just wouldn't have worked. I can't just click myself out of there. But again, that was circumstantial. The reason I was depressed was because of the circumstances. When I got out of the circumstance, my mental health did improve. But saying that, I feel like we're always trying to chase after the next
That's
thing.
the thing.
You know?
It's the idea of contentment as well. Like coming back to your original question, is it a conscious decision or is it a destination? Even like I was thinking about your second scenario. You know, if we had the great wife, we had the great house, got the cars. Like to be fair, temporarily there's pleasure in it. You know, it's a different term to happiness. I think it's a pleasure. It's a form of happiness.
Yeah.
Right. However, the thing is that it's like with anything, you sort of lose interest. It's like me when I was younger, I'd get a PlayStation, got a new game. I'm like, yeah, wicked. I'm playing it. After a while, it's like FIFA, right? Every year FIFA comes, I don't buy the new FIFA anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I got the 17 and 18 ones. My brother boy, but I do play it sometimes. I still enjoy it, but my enjoyment of it overall down the years is just gone. Like it's a pleasure, but it's not happiness. I mean,
Yeah.
I differ, but I think happiness is an inner thing. It's contentment, but I think it's the idea that despite your circumstance in life, you still got the inner joy. You know, so that's a very difficult question. But I do differentiate between the idea that pleasure is more the material side.
You know what I think is? I don't even think it's. I think it's pleasure. I think it's release.
Sure.
Like you know when for example, like a new video game comes out.
Yeah.
It's like I want that video game so badly. But is it that you want that video game, or is it just the release? Like when you get that video game, you release the feeling of wanting something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I want something. So me want desire. It's releasing. It's it's getting rid of desire. That's what it is. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Ooh, that's quite difficult actually. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, you can just tighten it there.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Should be. Oh wait, it's loosening there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man.
I'm gonna have to cut this out. There you go.
Is it good?
Yeah, it should be fine. Should be. Oh, you're gonna have to hold the mic up now.
Wait 1 second, man.
That's not gonna work. You're gonna have to hold the mic up. That's not gonna work.
It's gonna work.
No, you're gonna have to hold the mic up.
Flipping out, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're about to wrap this up anyway.
Yeah, we're nearly done. So, okay. I'll be comfortable for a few minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Yeah. Your idea that it gives you a sense of release. Yeah. So is that a form of pleasure?
I don't know. I don't think a release. I don't think like maybe the point before the release is like we're talking about something else now. But no, I think it's just letting go of attachment.
Ooh.
Because let's say like a new video game comes out. Like I want that video game because I'm attached to it.
Yeah.
Once I get it, it's that release of desire.
Sure.
That's how I see it.
But then the desire, what I'll say is that it is temporary, right? But then I don't know. That's a very difficult one. Depends on the type of pleasure, but I can see what I mean by relief. But then the relief, what does it come from? Release of what? Because if you're releasing something, maybe
attachment.
What do you mean by attachment?
You're just attached to worldly things.
Sure. So if you playing it releases you from the game, or
it releases me from the want of getting the game, and then eventually I feel like the novelty does wear out.
Yeah, that's like every FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer game, or or Call of Duty, like back in the day. Yeah.
So what things do you feel like the novelty don't wear out? Like what are things in life where novelty doesn't? For me, it's traveling. When I travel, it doesn't wear out. Food, good food.
Okay.
Actually, saying that you can still rinse. If I have good pizza every day, I'm gonna get sick of it. So I'll say traveling.
Okay, traveling. Now, I definitely agree with traveling. But I've done different types of traveling. I think backpacking, staying in hostels, is probably the best experience ever. Like, I'm just with random people from someone from the other side of the world, and we just say hello, blah blah blah. I was quite nervous initially when I first did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know these people. Where am I gonna keep all my bags? Are they gonna steal it? Because we're in one room, right? With like 6 beds.
Yeah.
But I'd say travel, definitely a novelty, but backpacking. Flipping, that does the job. I think we should end it there. I'll have to hold it like this. Okay.
So for those of you who are listening to the podcast, one of the mic has just fell down, and
sorry guys,
he's gonna have to hold it.
Yeah, man.
But luckily we're wrapping up anyway.
Yeah,
Fortunately, because I did say half an hour, and it's coming up to the half an hour mark.
So just traveling, just to end off on your question of novelty. Backpacking. I stayed a month out in Italy. I was in an apartment.
I'm going to keep this in the video, by the way, of you just holding this awkwardly, just because, I don't know, it's funny.
Sure. Anyway, whatever, man.
So awkward.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You seem very awkward right now, just holding that mic.
It is really awkward. I'm not going to lie, guys. It's very awkward.
It took me ages to clamp that on. How the hell did you get that off?
Mate, don't know, man. You bloody tell me. Maybe you didn't put it on properly.
I did. I clamped it. It took me ages to clamp it on, and then somehow you just managed to.
It loves me, man. It wants to come.
Maybe. It's attached to you.
Pretty much, man. It loves me. I'm gonna take home, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in regards to traveling, backpacking is my favorite form of traveling. I stayed in Italy for a month in an apartment. It was okay, but the idea that I can move to a different place and meet new people and just do different things, even at night time, middle of the day, see things, it's the best experience.
Yeah.
Because it's always the people. I think novelties with people as well. When you meet new people, I always find someone different in the world that the experience that they've had in their own life.
Yeah.
I realize here in London is just a small aspect of my life, and it's just we seem to be more similar because we've got the city, we work, etc. Blah blah blah. So we have a similar mindset. When I go abroad and I meet someone from Australia, different culture, different weather, they have a different aspect on life. So it's brilliant to see that from people and just listen to them.
Yeah.
That's I say people are novelty as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's interesting.
People are novelty as well.
That is interesting.
Yeah, of course with the paneer and pizza and samosa. I was a samosa with all that stuff comes along, but not in moderation.
Yeah, food. That's going to be for another podcast. That'll be for another podcast. But I think it's time to conclude the 3rd episode of the Singh Street Style podcast. And again, I really do hope people are watching this, like they're watching Gurmukh holding this mic awkwardly.
Man,
I took ages. I took ages doing this setup, this podcast setup. It took me ages to like clamp that on the table.
I'm taking this home, man. It's a souvenir now.
Yeah, and he's ruining it after my first guest. That's my first guest, guys. So thank you for tuning in to the podcast.
And this is, funnily enough, debut of JustBeYou podcast as well. And
in collaboration.
Collaboration with the Singh Street Style podcasts as well. So yeah, it's been a pleasure coming on the show.
You can catch us on Google, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Hopefully YouTube. I want you to watch this. YouTube.com/Singh Street Style TV. And you can catch it on.
Find on Facebook, on my post on JustBeYou.JBY post as well. You can also find on Instagram at JustBeYou.LTD and YouTube as well.
Cool. All right then, catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
And don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Take care for now.
Goodbye.